What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It's Money Monday, June 24th. It is exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Pretty slow day, I would say, in the stock market today. Not really too much on my watch list going into the market open. I will break down everything that's popped off as always. Hopefully everybody had a just awesome weekend. Got to spend time with the families, got some studying in, and then hopefully you guys got off on the right foot on Monday, starting the week off green. So we got NERV here popping up pre-market from $4.25 all the way up to a high of $8. This topped out 3 times at $8. This opened up at the top part of its range today, $8. Or actually, it opened up at $7.75, but then it just quickly ripped up to $8.30, and then ripped all the way down to almost $7. Rips up to almost $8 again, back down to $7, and then back up to $8. Stocks like this, I love stocks like this that have range. I took a position on this at around 726 and sold it right at like 777. Now, why did I get in at 726 and sold at 777? Let me show you and break it down. So first, we need the daily chart. Always want to start at the daily chart. First off, this had news this morning. The company announced achievement in its primary and key secondary objectives in Phase 2 clinical trial of some weird drug that they've come out with. So it's on positive results of insomnia drug. This is gapping up right here before the market opened. This orange line is the 300-day moving average. The red line is the 200-day moving average. Those lines are going to act as super strong resistance. And you got to tell yourself, what is this stock going to do? Because other traders are looking at it. You always want to keep in mind what other traders are seeing on a chart. And you could see this thing just pretty much topped out right at those lines. And even if you go back at the 300-day moving average, it topped out right there. This blue line is the 50-day. It bounced off it right there. The 300-day was resistance right there. Then became support. This 200-day acted as resistance right there and right there. You always got to keep in mind, what are other traders seeing? And this is why I use moving averages on my daily chart. It's the only chart I'll use moving averages on. The 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average, 200-day moving average, and 300-day moving average. And then the orange line is the 13 exponential moving average. And then I'll quickly go through too, and I'll look at it on the weekly. And you can see right there on the weekly, you got the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average right there on the weekly, right at $8. The bigger the time frame, the bigger these resistance levels are going to hold. And then I'll also look at it on the monthly. And right there on the monthly, if we zoom in, this blue line, where is it at? Right at $8. So I got 3 time frames on the daily, weekly, and monthly all moving averages are right at $8. So that's going to hold up as a very, very strong resistance line. Go back over to the chart today, and we could see right there, this $8 level. It topped out pre-market right there. Stock opened up at around that area, topped out, even though it did pop above it. You see this long wick. It couldn't even hold its gains above $8. That's a sign right there. And then it topped out right there. So that's what we call a triple top. And what gave me conviction to take this trade, I threw Fibonacci's on it from the swing low of yesterday to the swing high today of $8. We got the retracement of 23.6 right at $7.11. Pre-market, it came down right here, pretty much right to the $7 area. When the stock opened, it came all the way down. It bounced right there at the $7, popped right back up to $8, came right back down, bounced right again at $7, right back up to $8 right there. And then when it came back down to the $7 area again, you could see it tried to bounce, but then it failed, blew through it, and then that $7 area held as resistance right here. You see how these charts like to confine to areas like that? It's all about breaking it down and putting it together. But you got all of my trend lines right here. This was setting up. 1 second, we'll break it down. This trended all the way down. As soon as it broke through that $7 area, it bottomed right here at 666. And look at that. This pre-market low right there, it bounced right off that level at 660 and then trended all the way up to $7. A nice 40-cent range right there. Me as a trader, I don't look for breakouts. I just like to look for basic support and resistance and play range. Let the stocks come to you. Don't chase after these stocks. Comes right back down to that 660 area, broke through it, held as resistance, made a low here at 625, and then it started trending back up to that 660 level right there, resistance. Pulled back again, pops up to 660, popped over it a little bit right here, but this did start to form a nice little wedge on it right there. Connect the higher lows, coming up to the resistance line right here of 660, popped over that 660 level, ran up to 680, pulled back to the area it broke out from, 660, and grinded back up to 680, and then now has just been trending back down. You got to get in the zone on these charts and break it down and follow it tick by tick. If you do it like that and you're here every single day and practice this every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at least 2-3 hours every day, you're going to get better at this. And you're going to be breaking these charts down just like I do. I've been doing this for 3 years, and it all just came with time and practice. But this was a beautiful chart. NERV. Just great pullbacks on it. Pulling all the way back down to the retracement level on the fibs of 50% and 38.2 levels. I love trading with Fibonacci retracements. And mental levels. $6, $6.50, $7. And then the reverse split low float still lives on. Today we had AVGR doing a 1 for 10 reverse split today, opening up right at 360, sold all the way down right here to $3. And from $3, this got really tight right there, came all the way up to the VWAP, 315, popped over the VWAP, ran up to 350, pulled all the way back down to $3 right there. And then from 3, ran all the way up to $4 and ran into a halt. Opened back up, sold all the way down to 340, ran into another halt. I was watching this because this was getting really, really tight right here at this 340 level. And I love looking for patterns on charts, especially wedges. I love looking for wedges on charts. This was setting up pretty nicely. Lower highs coming down to this support here at 340. They say a lot of like a descending wedge like this is a bullish pattern or a bearish pattern. I always look at patterns as if they could go either way. I always want to wait for the pattern to break out. Sometimes you'll see stocks just break and just take off and run and never look back. But a lot of stocks look at patterns. You'll see them break out of the pattern and then pull back and test the area it broke out from as support, and then it'll take off. That's what I like to look for. That shows me more strength than a stock that just rips from a pattern and takes off. I get more strength and validation when a stock breaks from the pattern, pulls back, tests the area it broke out from, and then takes off. Also had KERN on watch today just because of what this did recently, going from $15 all the way up to almost $80. And then the past couple days has been pulling back. If I look at it here on the daily, if you've been around my channel, you know I like to look for stocks that have huge runs like this and then pull back a couple days for a possible nice rubber band play. This is possibly setting up for a nice $20 bounce. So as this pulls back, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this $20 level for a nice bounce and rip to the upside. I think there is a lot of good opportunity on Kern, but you got to be careful with Kern. This thing loves to move volatile. You can't go in huge on Kern. Also, KERNW runs with it. I did make a technical analysis video on KERN where I broke it down and I dig into the SEC filings with it doing a recent merger. I just have to edit the video and then put it out to you guys. AXGT was on watch today. It's starting to get a little pop right now. But Friday, this did a lot of short squeezes. Very choppy and wild stock Friday. Going from 650 up to 750 and topping out at 850. And then at the end of the day, it just crumbled all the way down just below 7. This was on watch today, right at the open, to see if it could get above $7 again and volume pump into it. But it just sold off. But this did set up somewhat nicely, I would say, right at around this $6 level. You could see it came right down to it and was hanging around all right here, slowly making lower highs, getting tighter and tighter. Look at that, from 610, this got a nice little ramp all the way up to 640. being able to have an eye for something like this can make you money in the markets. And people have moved on. People have already forgot about AXGT. And look at, there was still opportunity on it as it just surged from 610 up to 640. It's only got 800,000 volume on the day compared to yesterday or Friday. It had almost 20 million in volume. Now all the volume is over on NERV as it's just crossed over 18 million in volume. And then one more thing, this morning Discord was down just everywhere. So they finally got this back up and running at around 10 a.m. They got it up and running. So Discord was down just everywhere. And then OSTK, this was the hot stock midday Friday. You could just see all the resistance on this thing right at $12 right there. This thing loved coming down to around this 1125 area, then up to 1150 right there yesterday. Finally got over that 1150, topped out at almost 12 again, pulled back. You could see this 1150 area was holding as support. Going in today, look at that. Opens up right at $12 there, sold all the way down, pretty much bounced right off that 1150 and right back up to 12. Came right back down to 1150 and then just crashed right through it. Let me zoom in a little bit. So if we go back Friday here, because I don't do recaps on Fridays because volume's pretty light. Right at $12, it topped right there, sold all the way down to 1120, and then this 1150 area, it popped right up to it, pulled back down all the way down to 11 right there, and then you could see that 1125 was resistance right there, and then it surged over it, pulled back, and then this 1125 was support again right there. From 1125 up to almost 1150s, and then surged all the way up to 1160. Pulled all the way back, 1125 holding, surged all the way up to 1150, and then right up here to $12. You see how it kept topping out at $12 right there and right there. And every time it pulled back, it liked pulling back to this 1120 and 1150 area. So now, if we fast forward today, this is what I'm talking about. You use the past to help guide the future. So then today, this opens up right at $12, opening right at a resistance level. This sold all the way down, and look at right where it bounced at. This 1150 area right there. Yes, this did puncture through that 1150 area and came down to 1140, but you can't look at these support and resistance lines as if they're steel or metal. You got to think of these support and resistance lines as if they're like a trampoline or rubber band. A stock can come down to it, puncture it, and then come right back up and then rip up. And look at that. From that 1150, it did poke through it, and then it came back and then ripped. all the way up to 1170, pulled back. Now 1150's acting as support, and then grinds all the way up to 1190, pulls all the way back down to that 1150 area. It's trying to hold. It's trying to hold. Finally breaks through that 1150. And then when it comes back up, look at right where it found resistance at. That 1150 area. Everybody dumps it. Now it's all the way down to just below $11. And now 11 is acting as resistance. These stocks like moving in stages. You gotta break them down. When you're trading, you shouldn't be distracted in your phone, on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, watching TV. You should be paying attention to the chart and watching the chart like a TV show or a movie. Watching the chart, the tape, the level 2, breaking it all down. Let's take a look at the SPY real quick. We had the SPY gapping up today, and it's been topping out right here at 294, 294.50, and then just very choppy so far today. Ever since the open, going down, going up, back down, back up. The market doesn't know which way it wants to go yet on Monday, so it's just a matter of waiting. It does almost look like it's forming a nice ascending wedge right here, which they say is a bullish pattern. But this is just right below all-time highs on the SPY. STAF, AMAG. AMAG was also gapping up today too, hitting a high of almost $11. But when I looked at the daily chart on this thing, I just quickly looked away. Just look at that daily. Just been trending down and down and down and down ever since October of 2018. From $21, $22, all the way down to $8. It finally got a gap up today. Up to 11. Soon as the market opens up at around 9.50, sells down to $9, and from 9 got a nice little pop up to 9.60. And then since then it's just faded out. Other than that, one more thing. So Bitcoin had a nice rally over the weekend, finally breaking above 10,000 and running up to over 11,000. So with that in mind of Bitcoin breaking out and breaking over 10,000, I said it in the Discord last night, always keep an eye on the stocks that are related to Bitcoin. Riot, Mara, MGI, I think. They're going to follow in sympathy with Bitcoin. And if we take a look today at what happened with Riot, right there, right, opens up just below $3, sells down here to 280, and from 280 is just slowly grinded up to 314. So a nice, what is that, 35-cent grind all day today so far, just by following Bitcoin. The sympathy is going to follow right into the Bitcoin and the blockchain related stocks. Does it happen with all the stocks? No. But you always want to try to break the sector down. Look at all the stocks that are in the blockchain and Bitcoin sector and try to determine which one's the leader. Because we could take a look at Mara. See, even Mara, really no volume, but overall, from 217 has trended up on light volume all the way up to 240. I want to say MGI is related with Bitcoin. I'm not sure though, but I'm not too big on Bitcoin. I've never been a fan of Bitcoin. But MLNT, nice surge today as well. From just below $5, gets a nice surge this morning all the way up to 575. And since that, retraced all the way down to 513. And now is finding resistance at 550. So let me show you something. When a stock has a spike up like this is what I like to do. I'll get out my little draw tool, and from the low here at 490, I'll just simply draw retracements on it with Fibonacci from the low all the way up to the high. And you could see after it's topped out right here, let the stock pull back. It tried bouncing right there at the 61.8 level, the golden ratio, right at almost 525, up just over 540, broke through it, and then it bounced right here at the 76.4 level and is grinding all the way up and just over this 38.2 level. This is why I like putting Fibonacci retracements on charts. A lot of times too, you'll see the stock pull back after a huge rip up. Even pre-market, I'll always plot on Fibonacci retracements to the previous day's close to pre-market high. And if the stock keeps making highs throughout the day, I'll just keep moving the Fibonacci retracement up to the high it just made. And then wait for it to start trending down. And then I wait for it to come to key levels, the 50% level, the 61.8% level, and try to get a feel for if the stock is trying to bottom and get strength at those areas. Because I'm more of a long bias trader. I'm not a short seller. I know how the short selling game works, but to me, in today's world, short selling right now, it's very overcrowded. You have all these fees, locate fees. Before you even take a trade, you're already down and negative. And even if you don't use the shorts that you've located, you still got to pay a fee. It's just really overcrowded. And in my eyes, there's just plenty of opportunities out there because you have all these people short selling and wanting to short sell because they think that's where all the big money is. And all they're doing is just helping us out with these short squeezes like AXGT from Friday. So thank you shorts for the short squeezes. And when those short squeezes happen, they're epic. They just keep going and going and going and going. I think MLNT. Yeah, MLNT almost had one too. Way back here. It's like a grind, but this popped up from 377 up to almost $6 and sold off right there down to 4. and then it just grinded its way all the way up and then surged right there, and then just grinded and grinded and grinded and grinded, and then opened up the next day at $8. But that's going to about wrap it up for today, guys. Not really too much on my list today for stocks. Only AVGR and NERV had my attention. KERN didn't present any opportunities. Maybe it's trying to bottom right here. But this stock is very dangerous. This stock is crazy. You can't go all in on a stock like this. But just real quick, let me see something real quick. We'll bring the chart over here, and from right there, we'll put retracements on it. It's just dropping below 76.4. It's coming back all the way down. This $20 level, like I said, it's going to be a key level for it, for a nice possible bounce. But that's going to about wrap it up for this recap, guys. Hopefully you guys got off on the right foot for Money Monday. And I will see you guys all tomorrow, Tuesday. And until next time, guys, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study as always. Later, everybody.